Here are the highlights of this week's news on Japan Today. I'm Nathan. Authorities in northeast Japan have warned residents to be aware of wild bears after several people were attacked, including police officers, last weekend. At this time of year, bears are coming out of hibernation, and they have now been sighted in both Akita and Fukushima prefectures. Last Saturday in the city of Kazuno, Akita Prefecture, 2 police officers were attacked while recovering the body of a missing man. Just a few days earlier, the man had gone to pick bamboo shoots in the mountains and soon after was found dead with gash wounds. Police have put up signs warning people to stay out of mountainous areas where the bears were sighted. Akita Prefectural Police have urged people to keep bells and other noise-producing devices on hand to scare the bears away in case of an encounter. Thousands of Asiatic black bears live in the wild throughout Japan. Some blame the surge in bear encounters on scarcity of acorns, berries, and other food, possibly connected to climate change. The Japanese government has passed a law revision that will allow divorced parents the option of joint child custody, a change that brings Japan in line with many other countries. The revision, the first to custody rights in nearly 80 years, is to take effect by 2026. It will allow divorced parents to choose either dual or single custody. Under the current law, child custody is granted to only one parent, which is almost always the mother. The change comes as divorces are increasing in Japan, and a growing number of divorced fathers hope to stay in touch with their children. A number of high-profile allegations made by divorced foreign fathers who blamed their former partners for abducting their children and returning to Japan also encouraged the change. In joint custody cases, the revision will also require that child rearing costs be shared between the mother and father. Currently, most divorced mothers, often part-time workers with low income, do not receive financial support from their former husbands. About 68,000 people annually aged 65 and over in Japan are estimated to die alone at home, unnoticed, according to the National Police Agency. Data showed 21,716 people nationwide died lonely deaths from January to March. Nearly 80% of that number, or 17,034 people, were aged 65 or over. A lonely death is defined as one in which a person dies without anyone witnessing it, with a certain period passing before the body is found, according to a Cabinet Office working group tasked with looking into the issue. As lonely deaths become more prevalent in Japanese society, the government has in recent years stepped up efforts to combat social isolation and loneliness among people in Japan. An ambulance in Yokohama took a wrong turn while transporting an ill woman in her 80s to the hospital, and as a result, arrived too late to save her. The Yokohama Fire Department said an emergency call was placed from a welfare facility in Yokohama's Totsuka ward, reporting that the woman had suddenly become seriously ill. The woman went into cardiac arrest inside the ambulance while on the way to the hospital. Although paramedics administered emergency medical treatment, the patient died upon arrival. Officials said the ambulance driver took a wrong turn at a road junction, causing a 13-minute delay getting to the hospital. The route from the welfare facility usually takes only 3 minutes. The driver had been assigned to the fire department in April and was still unfamiliar with the roads, the fire department said. Police in Tokai, Ibaraki Prefecture have arrested a 30-year-old man on suspicion of injuring his girlfriend's 3-year-old daughter by placing her in a washing machine and turning it on. According to police, Hideaki Masui put the child in the washing machine at around 8:40 a.m. on May 19th at their apartment. The girl suffered injuries to her arms and legs as she spun around. The girl's mother immediately noticed something was wrong after the washing machine began to fill and spin with water, and contacted the police. Police said Masui, who was drunk when they arrived, has denied the allegation and has refused to say anything further. They are now questioning the child's mother on whether or not he has abused the girl before. According to the Japan National Tourism Organization, more than 3 million people visited Japan in April for a second straight month, setting the stage for a potential record year for tourism. The exact number of tourists in April? 3.04 million, just slightly down from the 3.08 million achieved in March. Over 500,000 of those tourists were from mainland China alone, the #1 country for tourism in Japan. Motivating the massive tourism boom is the yen slide to a 34-year low, which has made Japan a bargain destination for foreign visitors. And now it's time for the weird and wonderful news, brought to you by A flying car took to the air in Tokyo for the first time on May 17th during an international event aiming to showcase cutting-edge technology. The vehicle hovered around 10 meters off the ground in a parking lot outside the Tokyo Big Sight Convention Center during Sushi Tech Tokyo 2024. The event, Sushi, is pronounced, by the way, like sushi, spelled like sushi. It has a capital S and a capital H though, which is very confusing to me. I keep thinking it's sus high. The flying car is called the Hexa and is manufactured by the American company Lift Aircraft Inc. It has 18 propellers attached to the top of its single-seat passenger cabin, is 4.5 meters wide, 2.6 meters high, and weighs around 196 kilograms. Flying cars are expected to become part of the next generation of human transportation and will be effective in dealing with traffic congestion and delivering supplies to disaster areas, according to the Tokyo Metropolitan Government. There is UFO fever in Kofu, near Mount Fuji in Yamanashi Prefecture, and local residents are hoping to make their city a tourist magnet with extraterrestrial help from aliens. Next year marks the 50th anniversary of an incident in which 2 elementary school children claimed to have encountered unidentified flying objects and an alien. Radio personality Kichi Tokutake is among a group of people organizing events to celebrate the anniversary and boost the city's appeal. Tokutake's passion grew after he was told by a guest during his show that the UFO sighting in Kofu had recently grabbed attention among some overseas UFO enthusiasts, also known as ufologists, which would be a very cool thing to have on your business card. The alleged incident dates back to February 23, 1975, when 2 boys playing near a vineyard in Kofu saw what they described as 2 saucer-shaped UFOs flashing in orange at around 6:30 p.m. They said a 120 to 130 centimeter tall alien with a big head, long ears, and 3 fangs then descended. The alien reportedly had a brown face and no eyes or nose. I believe the story because that alien sounds cursed. Why does it have no eyes or nose, but 3 fangs? What does that mean? The boys left the scene to call their family, and when they returned, the object started blinking briefly before disappearing. Their family and local residents provided similar descriptions. February 23rd is now registered as Kofu UFO Day by the Japan Anniversary Association, an organization that registers anniversaries for companies, groups, and individuals. If you're traveling in Kyushu, you might come across a cafe with a sign out front that says FUK Coffee. No, it doesn't mean what you think it means, and it wasn't written by someone who hates coffee. The name is a nod to the cafe's hometown, Fukuoka City. As for why they went with the FUK abbreviation, the 3-letter code for Fukuoka Airport is FUK, so you pronounce it like Fukuoka. Fukuoka. Admittedly, that makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and assume either one of 2 things. Either the owners have no idea, they just didn't have a clue about the English F-bomb and its connotation, or they knew exactly what they were doing. It got in the news, didn't it? And that's all for this week's news. I'm off to enjoy my beautiful, delicious cup of FUK coffee. Yeah. It has 18 propellers attached to the top of its single-seat passenger cabin, is 4.5 meters wide, like myself, 2.6 meters high, and